So here with me is Henry Stern with Wizards of the Coast, MapleStory. Henry, why don't you tell us what you do here for the company?
I'm the manager of new business development, meaning I'm in charge of all the guys that are working on our new business games. Games like, and it's not just new, it's like Duel Masters and some Avalon Hill games, and new games that come along like MapleStory for now. And development is like the second half of design, where we sort of refine the cards and make sure that everything's balanced and works out well.
That must be an awesome job, because you get to see all the new stuff that's coming in and nothing's ever old.
Oh yeah, it's totally fun.
That's great.
I mean, and, you know, we have an amazing job down in R&D. We basically get to play games for a living and argue about games for a living, and you know, I don't think anyone could have a better job.
Cool. Well, I could pick your brain just about that, but let's talk about MapleStory.
Sure.
Give me the story behind MapleStory.
All right, so MapleStory it started as an online role-playing game that started in Korea and Japan by a company called Nexon, and it is amazingly popular there. The main thing is it's free. It's absolutely free to download, free to play, which, you know, like most online role-playing games cost you, $15 a month at least to play, but there it's free. And it has a very broad appeal. It certainly skews younger than most online role-playing games. It's aimed, I don't want to say to kids, but, you know, like 8-year-olds,
It's like, come on, look
16.
at the cute little mushrooms.
Right. But even with all that, it's still a very serious online role-playing game, and people play it seriously, and it's a lot of fun. It doesn't have, like, super 3D graphics. They're sort of really cute, like 2D side-scrolling graphics. But people have a lot of fun playing it, and they have huge numbers of subscribers in Japan and Korea and all of Asia, really. And somewhat recently they've come to the United States, and it's been also, again, amazingly popular in the United States. The trading card game is played as like you're dueling against another character. You start and play with a character card, and in the base set there's 8 different character cards you can choose from any one of the 4 different classes that are in the game. You start with a character card in play, and you start with a hand, and as the game progresses, you can choose, with every card that you draw, you can choose to either level up your character with it or put that card into play. And that card might be a monster, it might be an item, or it might be a tactic or spell that you're playing against your opponent. And as you level up, you gain access to be able to play larger and larger monsters and items and better spells. And then it's basically about a duel between you and your opponent, and you're using your monsters to try to whittle them down. They're using their monsters and their abilities on their characters to whittle you down. And as you level up, your guy gains hit points each time. But it really plays very differently than Magic or other games, because there's not land, per se. There's not this other resource. You're just sort of dueling against the other character.
There's a code system where people can earn codes and go in and get items. Now, are these just little, like, little funny hats and stuff like that to accessorize, or?
Obviously, a big selling point for us and for people who play the online game is going to be the codes in the trading card game. You're guaranteed to get at least 1 code in every single booster that you buy. But you could get as many as 5, 6, 7 codes in a booster, potentially. It's all random. And the codes, let me see if we can grab a card that has a code on it here. Sorry, let me grab one.
Sure, no problem.
Do these have codes? Yes, here's one. Excellent. So here's an example, of a card with a code. And you can see you basically have to log into the online game, go to the cash shop. There's a button to hit your code. Click the button, type in the code that you see here, and then the item that you get from the code will automatically be put into your inventory in the game. And like you said, the codes, like, some other games have had codes that have been like basically vanity items. And we certainly have those. Like, people have already started seeing the Maple Champion effect. It's a thing in the game that if you type in the code and you have a Maple Champion, you can, whenever you stand still, you'll have like your character's frame in the game gets outlined by this big giant card. And you look like you're part of a trading card. But some of the other codes do neat things, like there's unique pets that you can only get from the trading card game, and those are fun. Pets are always awesome. And there's also things that are much more powerful than that. There's artifacts that you can get, and you combine these artifacts via quests that are in the game, giving you access to awesome armors and awesome weapons. And people have started to figure out what these weapons and armors are, and they're quite powerful and quite attractive. So
you never know what you're going to get until you type in the code?
For the most part, you can tell if you have a pet on the code, but you don't know what the pet will be.
And still, you don't know when you're buying the boosters.
Right. Well, when you buy the booster, it's completely blank. But because everything in the game is tradable in the game, like once you even redeem a code, you can trade the item you get to somebody else, except for the pets. The pets are
yours
bound,
to stay.
Yeah, the pets are bound to you. So when you have that, for that reason, we made the codes like when you have a pet code, you know that it's a pet. You know what pet it is. So if you want to, you can give that code to a friend, so you don't have two of the same thing. Start the game and play with a character card. And as you're playing, you would have a hand of cards in your hand, and you can choose to use these cards in play, or if you wanted to level up your character, you would go whoop, you level up with them, and you notice that every card has a top half and a bottom half, and the bottom half sort of shows through as you level up. And now Nixie has 4 different abilities that she can use, and the next turn I might level up with a different card, and now Nixie has, you know,
very cool.
5 abilities she can use, and she's now level 20. So she's leveled up twice. She's level 20. Every time you level up, you gain 20 hit points, which can help you in battling your opponent, especially if you get low. And you know, the next turn might come along, and she'd level up with another card. And now Nixie is level 30, and now has that. You can see that the number on the left here shows you what level you need to be to activate different abilities. And so as you go up in level, you gain access to all these different abilities that you can use, giving you more weapons. But some of the cards in your hand, like let's say Yeti and Peppy here, because this is an awesome card. Yeti and Peppy, he's a real powerhouse. He's a real beater. So you might want to save him in your hand to play him as a creature instead of leveling up with him. I mean, he's level 80, so you need to be pretty high level to get a level 80 monster into play. But if you do, then he's going to beat down on your opponent's monsters or on your opponent.
So MapleStory is coming out right now.
Yes.
And one last thing, can you tell me what comes with the starter set?
Oh, sure. The starter, here we have one, comes with a pre-constructed deck that you can use to, you can actually have 2 people play it. It also comes with a booster inside of it, and a CD that contains not only information about the card game and an index and stuff, but it also contains the complete MapleStory online role-playing game, so you don't have to go through the whole downloading process. You can start playing right off of the CD.
Great, great. So anyone who also wants to check it out before buying could go to Wizard's homepage and click off there, or MapleStoryTradingCardGame.com?
MapleStoryCardGame.com.
MapleStoryCardGame.com.
Correct.
Go there and check it out there as well.